Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Want some candy?
What's up, all you little Jagger bushes? Welcome back to another episode of Monster Candy Podcast with myself, Screamin' E from the Memphis Murder Men, Oubliette Sparks from Tsunami Bomb, and back again, our homie from Down the Hatch Food Reviews, Scarlett. And since it is summertime and it's hot as fuck outside, we decided it would be a perfect opportunity to discuss the 1983 Robert Hiltzik camp slasher, Sleepaway Camp. But before we get into all that jazz, it's time to talk about some
horror news.
Yeah, some horror news. But Scarlett, welcome back. Thanks again for doing this.
Of course. Always love to.
Yeah. How are you doing? How's Down the Hatch Food Reviews doing?
Oh my God, she did the packy chip.
It's
Which
good
is
besides that.
horror news
I had
itself.
to take breaks from watching that.
That actually works out because I didn't have a horror news. So yeah, I mean that could be mine. Yeah, the one chip challenge is no joke. Don't ever do it if you have the option to do it. Say no to drugs, say no to pocky chips. It is.
Well, you can't even drink milk either, huh?
I'm lactose intolerant, so that Frosty was a terrible idea. Yeah, I had the Frosty that was I'm pretty sure that's what made me get sick before my cohort did.
Yeah.
We were literally like 40 minutes apart in like our how we both felt, but like literally laying in the back of where I worked on the ground with a trash can in front of me, contemplating my life decision.
Yeah.
But I told you this via text, but for those of you who haven't seen, you should definitely watch it. But there's a part where they're both kind of just regretting their decisions, and they're not on fire. They're just like sick.
Yeah.
And you hear someone say something you can't really hear. And Scar just looks up and she's like, no, like, I'm not going to go talk to a customer. I'm not going to answer a question, something like that.
Yeah. And there's like another
the funniest shit.
Yeah. There's another point where like a FedEx lady came in to deliver stuff and she's like, hello. And I was like, somebody go get that. And like, the guy I was with is like just angry. And then the kid that's helping us, like you could see him like sneak behind us. And we're just, it was so uncomfortable. Like one of my coworkers, I felt so bad for because he like looked at me and was like, are you okay? Like, I mean, he was genuinely concerned for my life. Like, I do believe that, like, if my like if Tom was there, like, dude, or anybody that like knew me on like a personal level besides work, like they probably would have been like, dude, you got to go to the hospital. Like, you look like you're dying. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I am, but
yeah.
But
that's why you do that shit away from the people who love you the most, because they will stop you or take you to the hospital, and it will suck.
Yeah, I was fine. I pulled through it. We're okay.
That was a perfect chance to be like, it tastes like hurting.
Mm-hmm. It tastes like burning. That was it.
Burning. Yeah.
Yeah. Should have channeled my inner Ralph.
Yeah, you guys should
Ralph.
check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. If you get the chance. One chip challenge down the hatch.
If you're like if you're like an empathetic yet kind of like prankster watcher like me, you'll like laugh and then pause and feel bad, and then watch again and laugh and then be like, oh shit, and like pause, be like, I can't watch any more of this, and then be like, I'm gonna watch one more minute. It's good and really bad.
It's always good to see your friends suffer.
Oh yeah. I had it on live for like on my own live one, and my mom was on it, and she's like, just stop. And I'm like I can't stop, Mom. I already ate it. She's like, I mean, stop the video. This is terrible.
You pulled a space
Dude.
ball. You're like, we can't stop. We're going too fast.
Yeah, that hot stuff is crazy. Actually, two of our other guests on the show, Charlie Price
Mhm.
and Mills, did one, and they did one of the hot ones.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
And first off, Mills' wife is a saint. She puts up with so much, and like she's a saint. If you're
Yeah.
listening, baby, you were a saint. But they decided to do a party with a whole bunch of people who didn't like hot stuff, and they just like cooked like 300 wings, and they're in this island kitchen. And they went live on Facebook to do a hot ones. And I think it might have been after the bomb.
Oh yeah.
All of a sudden, Mills's wife, her nose just starts spraying blood. Live on Facebook, and I'm watching it. I'm like, oh my God, they've killed her wife. Like finally, Mills has killed his wife. It was bound to happen. She ended up running out into the front porch and like vomiting all kinds of stuff, but like you don't know what's happening because you're watching live.
Oh no.
Anyway, yeah, the hot shit gets crazy.
So
But
is that
also
dye?
entertaining.
Yeah, is that dye they have on the chip?
Yeah,
Why
because
is
it's
it
not.
blue?
It's blue, like whatever number blue dye is.
Oh, so you're getting like carcinogens too.
That's what I said. No, seriously, like that was like
Yeah.
I've had the bomb on hot ones. I've had the last stab. Like they're hot, but this
The bomb
was
is
like,
the one I have not tried.
I mean, that made me
That's
want to
because
punch
I'm-
a hole through a wall. Like to be
Yeah.
that one made me angry. The bomb made me angry and sweat, and like it made my belly hurt for like 20 minutes. But this was literally like,
Ugh.
I don't, like you said, I don't know if it was the freaking blue dye or what it was,
Yeah.
but that shit was like literally I've had come downs like better than that. That
Yeah.
is
Holy
was-
shit.
that was messed up. Like it was literally the worst like 15-minute throw up of my life. Like, and I
Yeah.
got sick 3 times, but there was one throw up that was the worst.
Yeah,
Glad it came up.
Thing with that stuff that's like the essence of the peppers, it's like pure adrenaline and like body warfare.
Pain.
Like,
Yeah.
Like my manager was like, I feel
not
you're bored.
normal.
There's something wrong.
You know, this is going to be a perfect segue into my horror news, but
Boom.
Oh,
It-
good.
I could imagine, like when I was watching it, I'm like, dude, this is totally like Return of the Living Dead, where, you know, the two guys get all exposed to shit and they're like, "Ugh," and then someone comes in that's normal. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? And they're like, "Ugh," twitching and
Oh
just
yeah, maybe.
stick his shit on the floor.
That happened.
Yeah, it did happen. So, but yeah, into my horror news. So there's a reboot of Return of the Living Dead in the works, which
Huh.
will expand the existing world because we need that. We really need that.
Exactly what we need, right?
I mean,
That's what I was thinking. Like I was just in bed the other night and I couldn't sleep and was like, oh man, why? Why haven't they started redoing Return of the Living Dead?
yeah.
I
See,
feel
here's
like that would be what I need right now.
yeah, it's totally like a chat my ass / horror news, but it's like the difference between the stuff they remake now and the stuff they remade back in the 80s or like late 70s or whatever. It was usually like obscure B films that, you know, unless you were a 50s kid going to the drive-in, you know, like
Yeah.
you didn't fucking see. So it's
Yeah.
nobody fucking knows what this movie was. But now it's like you're remaking these cult classics, and that's just bad news, man. Bad news bears. Don't do it.
Terrible.
So
It's
that's
just unnecessary.
it. Yeah. Especially for something that like iconic. Like why? Like it's not going to
Yeah.
be better. It's just leave it alone. So I don't know. There's more on Bloody
People-
Disgusting if you want to read about that, but that's crappy. But one other cool thing is a Freaks Criterion collection is coming out in October. I do enjoy the Criterion collections. Some of them are quite expensive, but if you can get them for a good price, they got like a ton of extras. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, that's all I got for horror news. What about you, Oubliette?
The only thing I have is I heard that Tubi, which I've never used or watched, announced that they're going to have a 24-hour Godzilla channel.
Yep.
Ooh.
And it's free. So that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Because I find myself just like roaming sometimes at night when I don't want to. Oh, Scar's about to fucking
About to throw up.
her beer everywhere.
I almost spit it out because I knew what you were about to say.
Because you knew I was gonna say?
Yeah.
Or did you think I was gonna say something worse?
No, that you just you logged for roaming the TV for Godzilla played in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
No, not for Godzilla. Sometimes I roam. That's not what I was gonna say, but that's also accurate. No, it's funny because I actually have a streaming service that's hooked to a server where I can get like almost anything I want. And it's funny because I'll come home and my husband will be watching like a movie with commercials. I'm like, what are you doing? Like on our Plex, we have the whole fucking movie without commercials. But it's true. Like sometimes you just want to kind of naturally find something and watch it, even if it's like on a channel and you start watching it halfway through. Yeah. And if you see it on like a server you have or a regular streaming service, you'll never just start it.
Yep.
But if you see that flash of a scene, you're like, oh shit, I love this one. And then like it gets you in.
True.
So like I do miss that sort of like channel thing. And we stayed in Portland, Maine recently, and like the only service they had was, like Samsung TV or something. And it was funny because every channel was just like one show, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
But it was cool. Like we didn't obviously watch a lot of TV other than going to bed, but like I watched a lot of stuff that I wouldn't usually. So something like that, I feel like.
Yeah, there's
just aimlessly roam.
On like Sling TV and some other stuff, they'll have, different channels. Like Epix is one.
Yeah.
That usually has like, I don't know, at least once a month, they'll have just the whole day will be Godzilla shit and stuff like that's cool because you can put it on and just go about your whatever you're doing and just kind of have it on. But it's like quality shit that you're like, oh, sweet. That's cool to watch. I'm going to sit down and watch this for 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
I can get up and fucking go do something and it'll be back on in like 3 hours, like the same movie. So, because they just keep going. So, yeah, good for you, Tubi.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, all right, then. That's been
Don't rape people.
Yeah. Which could actually is kind of a segue into this because this is what was a raping of the mind. So yeah, Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah, Sleepaway Camp. Which can I just say I was like, oh, I don't need to watch it before we do this, but I should. I've been watching it so much recently, and I'm fucking glad I did because I've been watching Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 a lot. I have not been watching this, and I don't think I've watched this since I was like a teenager.
Yeah.
My husband was laughing. He watched about half with me before he went to bed. And he's like, yeah, this is Sleepaway Camp. And I'm like, no, she usually has short. She looks like this. And he's like, no, this is the first one. And I'm like, oh. And then at the end, I was like, I don't remember this part.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I know that is part of the story, but I didn't remember that part. So it's been a while.
Do you want to read the storyline or?
I mean, I can, yeah.
All right, go for it.
Or you can.
Or whatever.
Angela Baker is a shy, traumatized young girl. She's sent to a summer camp with her cousin. Shortly after her arrival, anyone with sinister or less than honorable intentions towards her gets their... Wait, this gives nothing.
Right.
Okay, I'm just going to do my own.
Okay.
So Angela has some gay dads. Angela and Peter, her brother, have some gay dads. And they decide to go on a boat. And there's a horrible accident. And like blood everywhere. And Angela survives. She goes to stay with like her crazy aunt, right? Her crazy female relative and her cousin. And she stops talking. So they're like, let's go to summer camp. Her aunt's like, yeah, you're nonverbal and traumatized. So let's just send you off to camp. So her and her cousin go to camp, whereas she's pretty cute. Some guys want to talk to her. A couple girls in the camp don't like that. She's getting bullied. This fucking old fat cook tries to like do something and diddle her. And the cousin the whole time is just like, fuck you, motherfucker,
Yeah.
fuck you, trying to fight everyone. And then like people are ending up dead.
Right. There you go.
And I don't want to give
There you
away
go.
anything else.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, well, we're going to spoil it. So if you haven't seen it yet.
Right.
Yeah, you should.
I just meant in the
watch it and
like
get it over with.
intro. I didn't
Right.
want to give it away.
That's a really
But I
good
feel like-
intro.
Yeah.
That leads you in.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start with the things we didn't like. Because I like, I don't know. I think there's probably more things we like about this movie than we don't like. I'm thinking. So, all right. So one of the
I
things
mean, I'm drinking margaritas out of a quart.
Yeah.
No, this is a double quart, actually.
How you know you work in the
I
restaurant
mean, it's not
business.
Oh, yeah.
full. Yeah, it's
Well,
not. For the
anymore.
listeners, it's not. No, it was never full. I couldn't
right.
finish my half pitcher at the restaurant's desk. I wanted a to-go cup, and that was
There
it.
you go. Yeah, one of the things I didn't like about it was the excessive use of screaming Angela was so fucking
Why?
annoying. Like, I know
It's been a
Ricky,
lot.
right? Ricky was funny because but he's always, yeah. And I just always think like Tony Danza, Angela.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that
It made me
annoyed.
think of Emilio.
Yeah, that too.
Emilio. It's like all
Yeah.
I think of, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
But I'm like, it's a lot. And he has like kind of like a high pitched gravelly voice. So it's a lot. Like, oh my God, again. And it does give the twist away in the very beginning at the boating accident. Like hardcore. Yeah.
I feel like if you're
If
so
you're
I
not paying
think if you
attention,
watched it once,
Yeah.
no. But if
Yeah.
you watched it like when I watched this, I don't know, I haven't watched this probably in the last like 10 years, but like I watched it and I was like, oh yeah,
right.
yeah, like okay,
Right.
but
Yeah.
like yeah,
I don't want to give it away, but it's super obvious if you've, just don't pay too much attention. And if you haven't seen it in the beginning, because you'll give it away. It moved a little slow, but movies are like that. And the other thing that confused me was like, why? I don't want to give it. Why did they kill the kids that were sleeping in the woods? Like the whole thing was just up until that point was
Because they were
people.
assholes.
well, because they were
They
buttholes.
were all
they
assholes.
But
they
they were
freaking didn't they like throw something at her? Or
no,
something?
those were like
Yeah.
little kids. Those were like the older teenagers on the thing. And
Oh,
the-
never mind. I'm thinking of the little ones.
yeah, the little ones. They were just like 7-year-old kids in the fucking woods. But I guess
but fuck 7-year-olds in the woods, right?
this is true. This is
I mean,
true.
am I right?
Hey, you're totally right. Which I can also, I guess, now that I think about it, she went crazy at the end where she was just like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
So she was just killing everybody. So I guess that's
She's
It's
that.
just always
true.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I
But-
know what you liked about it, though.
Well, there's lots of things I liked about it. The one
All
last,
those midriffs and short man shorts.
hell yeah, Drake
Like,
smugglers,
That's part of it.
Like
right?
the dick shadow and everybody. Yeah.
the guy,
Dude.
straight
Even
up.
the young ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. While I was doing research on this a while ago, okay, so Karen Fields, the chick that plays fucking Judy, right?
hmm
As I'm watching this, I'm like, all right, there's a lot of weird. I mean, it's the 80s, so yeah, there's some nudity or like whatever, and kids around. They're not, I guess, not real nudity, but implied. But I'm like, I wonder how old all these people were.
Yeah.
So
Angela
most
was 13.
right. So she was the youngest. Paul was 15. Ricky, Jonathan Tiersten, he was 18, which he looks super young. I was surprised. I was like, what? Or he might have been like 17, but he was just 17 or 18. And then, but I was wondering because Karen Fields looked super old to be playing like a 15-year-old chick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how old is this bitch? You can't find her age. IMDb doesn't have it.
Really?
Her Instagram or her fucking, what do you call it? No,
You know what she is then?
over 18
A lizard person?
No.
or a
Yes,
lizard person. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that too. But I'm like,
Definitely.
because she makes out with Paul
She's
to make
340.
right.
Fake.
Totally
She's not
fake.
real. She's
Right.
She's the person that was
Exactly.
on that plane. That's
That
what they can do
motherfucker
now.
isn't real. But I was like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
And I was like everywhere looking for this shit. And I'm like, I can't find her age. I saw one interview with her where she's alluded to her being the same age as everyone else, like younger. I was like 15 or 16. I'm like, I don't think you were. I think she was older and was making out with like a 15-year-old dude. It was probably like, oh, that's yeah.
Can't release your age ever.
I couldn't find it
Well, I
anywhere.
thought Paul
for the
was
rest of your
17
life.
because Angela and Paul dated in real life and had to break up because of their age difference.
Yeah, he would have been 15 or 16 because he was born in like 68. So, and this was 83. So he would have been 15, 16. But, you know, again, it's the 80s and I'm like, they probably didn't give a fuck. Like most of this movie didn't give a fuck. Yeah.
Oh, back then, no.
Yeah. But I was just like,
those kids baldies.
ball, dude, that's my
Baldies?
favorite. One of my favorite.
Okay, so like, that
I love the
and
dialogue. Yeah.
That and the I've got to take a, what is it? What dump was it? What kind of dump? I forgot.
Oh, what did he say?
Man, it's like one of my favorite things. Why can't I remember?
God damn it.
Oh, it's literally, it's like the one thing I was like, dude, that's like, as soon as I watched it, I was like, oh, I forgot how much I love that.
So, all right.
Wicked dump.
Wicked dump. Yeah. All right. I'll save the quotes for the things I like, but
Wait,
Scarlett.
are you trying to find Judy's age?
Yeah. Karen
She was born in
Fields.
68 and died in 83.
No. No, because she just did an interview like in 2015.
Oh, God damn it. That's the stupid fucking movie. I hate the internet so much.
It's fucking
I will
lying.
find it.
While you look, Scarlett, what didn't you like about Sleepaway Camp?
I mean, the yelling of Angela was definitely like on my top list. So it's funny that you said that because I kind of forgot about that until like I was rewatching it and I was like, oh God, this is
Because
terrible.
You're right, because the fucking dialogue's normal. You could be in the other room and then you hear Angela. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Also, like, I think my least favorite out of like any of the kill scenes was the stabbing through a shower wall.
Right.
Like, because
Yeah.
like when I saw it this time, I was like, wait a second, like, did that just happen when I was a kid? Like, I was like, or like 10 years ago or whatever. I was like, I swear I don't remember that being that stupid. And I'm like, no, oh my God, it was that stupid. Like, okay.
The kills were ridiculous.
Yeah, but some of them were great. Like, I'm sorry, like the wicked poop and then with the bees, like I love that. It's like, it's so stupid. I love it. But yeah, that movie it's one of those, I think one of the things that also makes me hella mad is when I hear people say it's a fun one, and it's so bad that it's good. Because don't get me wrong, it is. There is a lot of stuff that's bad that makes it good. But in the end, I'm like, yeah, cool. I don't need to watch this again. Like, I'm all right.
I got something that piggybacks off of that for the things I liked about it. But Juliet,
Go for it. Finish what you like about it.
Okay, well, let's. You're still looking. You're like, I'm gonna fucking find this. Just keep talking until I find it. All right, so some of the things.
I sent her a threatening message, like, "Bitch, when were you born?" Just kidding.
What didn't you like about it, Juliet?
I don't know. Actually, nothing about it really stood out. Yes, the Angela screaming thing. The bullying was like so fucking overdone, and you could tell they really liked each other otherwise because it was almost like a joke. It reminded me of when I was in plays in high school and you had to hate someone. You're just like, I'm gonna be a little bitch and then smile afterwards.
Yeah,
it's not
totally.
real.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think for the time it was, it's very realistic for the time. Even like the camp director, whatever the fuck that dude was, like waiting around for the girl to like come to dinner.
Uh-huh.
Which was funny because while I was watching it, I was like, this dude looks overly like sweaty and gross and like not well. And then when I was reading the facts, I read that he died of lung cancer right after it.
Oh my
and
God.
was actually sick. And this was the last movie he did. And he didn't tell them that he was like on the outs. I just thought he did a really good job at being like a sweaty, overbreathing, like pervert. But
Yeah.
apparently he was just dying.
He's
So
dying. They're all
Yeah.
your
so I don't know if that's a part I don't like or like about it. But anyways, it's hard. I don't think I hate anything about it. Like movies at this time were like this.
Right.
Like it's fun. Was it great? No. It dragged on. Yes. Not that I'm like a sex pot or crazy, but like most of these movies have like a lot more titties and like fun, sexy times and better kills.
Yeah.
So if I could say something I don't like, and it's probably because of the age of everyone, like there weren't a lot of
Right.
cool kills, titties, and like weird sex that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, it was like a Disney version of a fucking 80s slasher from, you know what I mean? It's just like
no. Don't
Yeah,
shit
it's
on
not.
Disney right now.
Yeah.
Don't fucking. It's
Well,
not
we don't-
fucking.
we don't
Disney,
need more of
dude.
that. We
Bro,
don't need more of that
Disney.
right now either.
Yeah, Disney is fucked up. So don't even say
Right.
this is a Disney version.
well,
This
I'm
is
just saying
like,
as far as it being like
It's like a PG-13 version,
right.
minus the end.
right and minus
like
all the
PG
swearing.
almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and minus the swear.
Which all right. So the things I liked about it, the dialogue was fucking awesome.
It's like my favorite thing.
Uh-huh. So now
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
going to read some quotes that were my favorite that I like. All right. So and Scarlett had already said part of it. So here goes. The cook. Look at all that young fresh chicken.
Oh,
Where I
God,
come
yeah.
from, they call them baldies. Makes your mouth
Baldy.
water, don't it?
Blech.
And then his other cook buddy is all like, they're too young. They don't even know, they're too young to even know what you're thinking in that head. And he's like, there ain't no such thing as being too young. You're just too old. I'm like,
Ugh.
yeah. I'm like, oh, it's so fucking gross. Okay. The
The
baseball
bully quotes were the best, though.
right. The baseball singing, he's like, Ricky's like, this guy blows dead dogs. I'm like, fucking great. And he's like, eat shit and die, Ricky. And he's like, eat shit and live,
Eat
Bill.
shit and live, Bill. Yeah.
It's like my favorite thing in the world. That is hands down one of my favorite quotes.
But one of my favorite has got to be, okay, when they're at that first social.
Carpenter.
That one too. That one's good. But when they're at the first social
No,
and
it's
they're
awful, but
going
good.
over to ask Angela out to try and get her to go skinny dipping, which I have something to say about the skinny dipping, which is weird. But he's like,
Yeah.
they go over and they're totally striking out because she's just sitting there not saying anything. He's like, man, or they're talking to each other right before. He's like, man, I've been watching her all week and she's fucked up. I'm like, yes.
And you thought about Mia Goth.
Yeah,
We're
right. I'm like,
yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
And then after they strike out with her, they're like, hey, Angela, why are you so fucked up? I'm like, dude, this is awesome. But real quick, okay, the fucking skinny dipping. I grew up in the 80s. I remember skinny dipping was like a thing. People did like whatever, but there was
But it's a thing
usually
now. It's not like a 80s thing.
yeah, but it was like way more like let's
I feel
all
like
go
even,
skinny
like-
dipping. Like
I feel like even
Well, I
10
guess
years
now you
ago,
could get
skinny dipping
charged
was
for it,
way-
yeah.
Yeah.
But there was always like guys and girls. There's always groups together. When they're like, hey, come on, girls, you want to go in? They're like, no, whatever. And they're like, whatever. Have fun standing here on the fucking shore. And they just, come on, guys, let's go. So like 10 dudes are like, hell yeah, let's all go skinny dipping together. I'm like, that doesn't sound fun at all. At least not to me. I'm sure there was at least one or two guys in that group that were like, fuck yeah, let's all fucking let the chicks stay here. Let's all get naked and just fucking nuts to butts, right, guys? Am I right?
Yeah.
Am I right? But I was like,
hang out.
yeah, right. So there was that. To go back to what we were saying, like the PG, it's like a trauma movie for kids.
There you go. That's
You know.
actually that is one of the
Yeah.
perfect ways to describe
Right.
that. That is it right there.
Which is,
Yeah, if
it's
anyone wants to groom your kids into liking trauma, just play this for them at like
Totally.
9 years old.
yeah,
and
it'll
it's
probably work.
it is a fun, it's silly, it's
Mhm.
ridiculous kills. The twist is good.
Throw in some John Waters.
Right. If you've never
good.
seen it, because this has never been like one of my favorite films. So if I've only kind of like casually seen it and then I watched it. I mean, I like it, but it was never like a thing where I'm like, I fucking love it. But watching it again as I being older, I'm like, the crazy part is like the it did a good job being campy, but kind of with like serious overtone, and the most serious people in
the camp too.
Yeah, in the movie were actually the kids, because all the adults are just fucking complete
gross
and caricatures and just off the wall. And you're like, what? And then the kids are the ones having
honestly, adults are really gross.
It's true. Children are disgusting.
We're gross.
Yeah.
It's awful. You know what happens to our bodies? Like we're just gross. We're miserable. We're mad. We hate kids.
Totally.
Except for like cute ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like 5 minutes, as long as they're not yours.
And then
as long as they're doing something stupid and funny, you're like, awesome.
Gross. Like,
yeah. One of the things that we just talked about and mentioned were the ridiculous kills, like the cook. Like, dude, just get off the fucking chair.
But no, he didn't even die.
He was
but I mean,
No, they took him away saying he had burns on his body.
Right, but I mean,
treat him.
Just like, dude, just get off the chair. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's not like you're not that far away from where you were holding on to. But again, the movie is what it is. So, all right.
Yeah,
Scarlett.
The dialogue, hands down. That's like, I think that and the kill scenes, as stupid as they are, they're still like really fun and really classic.
Right.
At least like in my head, because like when I go back to certain things, that's like quotes and stuff like that, like the whole eat shit and live thing. The carpenter's dream, right? Like flat as a board needs a screw. That's like hands like that is so like gold. Like, whoever wrote this, I need to go take a wicked dump, and then you just get brutally stung to death by bees. Which I will say,
go off the window, dude.
That right there, I'm like, what? Like, first of all, at some point, wouldn't you have pulled up your pants?
Yeah.
Second of all, like the marks on his arm, I was like, were those leper bees? Like, were those flesh-eating bees? Because that's what that looks like.
Flesh-eating, acid-spitting bees.
Yeah, but it was still like, it's one of those things. Like, even today, right? Because I was mentioning at work that I was gonna do this, and one of my coworkers was like, "Oh, I've never seen that movie." I was like, "Oh, really?" He was like, "Yeah," and I was like, I feel like you're going to hear me say at some point, like somebody's going to go take a wicked dump, and this is what this is. And I showed them that scene, and they were just like, okay, I feel like I don't even need to see the movie anymore. I'm like, oh no, you want to see the ending really quick? He's like, sure. And then I did, and he was like, I really don't need to see that movie anymore.
It's like the Crying Game.
Yeah.
Totally.
But actually a bigger twist than the Crying Game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the twist is amazing too. Like, it's great. I think it's like one of my favorite things about it as well.
Which is funny because the interview that Karen Fields did that I read, the interviewer brought up was like, oh,
He's 385 years old, by the way.
At least. But they brought up, they were like, oh, how do you feel about, it being, they said a lot of people feel some sort of way because it's like depicting, a trans person in a bad light. And then she just kind of gave like a diplomatic answer, but then she was like, no, I don't think so.
Have they watched the rest of the Sleepaway Camp? I mean,
right. But I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess if you're super sensitive, you might feel that way. But if you actually watch it being objective, it's like the least crazy people in it were the gay couple when they had the two kids, because they're just like,
they were just in love.
Regular. The kids seem well adjusted right there.
Yeah, but you know what? The one thing they imply a little bit,
right,
that when the kids see the two men kiss, that it somehow like
right
makes them touch each other.
Right. Which, I mean, dude, if you saw, I could
see gay people being like, "Fuck this movie."
I mean, shit.
But I could see straight people being like, fuck this movie.
Yeah. I mean, when kids
fucked up all around.
Yeah, when kids see fucking any adults touch each other, they're like, ooh, like, are we supposed to do that? Doesn't matter who it is.
No, totally.
So it's
on top of it, as well as I do, of things like that doing any kind of
totally.
People are
But,
going to target that, but
right.
it's just all around fucked up.
And then, you got the crazy aunt who, all right, if you haven't seen this
That's
is
the fucked up adult in this movie.
right.
That
This
whole
is
spiel.
this is the spoiler alert that if you don't want to find out the end, just
cover
stop
your
listening.
ears, cover your ears, cover your ears.
So, okay, the part where you can tell that Angela is actually Peter is in the beginning when the boat wrecks into him, kills the dad, and then there's one kid splashing that does not have pigtails because the sister had pigtails.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no pigtails, which I guess you could, be like, oh, well, they fell out in the craziness, but
Pigtails don't fall out, E.
right. I know.
I'm sorry, they don't.
Hello.
But what I'm
painful.
saying, I'm just saying, but
Unless a motherfucking orca
right.
rolled up and bit that shit off. Or an otter.
Yeah.
Razor blade that shit.
That gives it away right there. But the whole thing I got from
You
this
would never know.
right is like, okay, if this whole thing just goes back to like nurture versus nature, which both aren't mutually exclusive. You can have somebody, I'm just born the way I am and it is what it is. That shit happens. But you can also have a crazy fucking aunt who gets her niece or whoever from this fucking family member or her nephew or whatever. And is like, I've always wanted a
now you're my
girl.
niece.
Yeah, now you're my niece. And makes this little boy live out his life against his own will, seemingly, because it didn't seem like he had a choice in the matter. And he was.
And she didn't even cut his dick off. Like, what kind of aunt is that?
Right.
Yeah.
So that goes into the whole nurture thing, but it all goes back to like, yeah, man, fucked up adults can make fucked up adults. They fuck kids up and those fucked up kids turn into fucked up adults just because this one happened to be, it was like a gender bender type thing. Hey, man, that shit happens sometimes. No one's excluded from being fucked up.
Rewatch it now when you're like, God, Angela's being such a fucking like wussy prude, whatever. Like, this is a fucking girl at camp with a dick whose dads were killed.
Yeah.
Right. So
She's been forced to look
and having dudes hit on her.
Forever. Yeah.
Having
super
her aunt
fucking weird.
forcing her being a dude and whatever, her cousin's super protective and who knows what went on behind closed doors there.
Right. Yeah. But another thing I was like reading the interview, I'm like, I've never really heard anyone be like, oh, fuck this movie because of that. So, which means
I haven't either, which is surprising.
It's probably like a handful of people. I figure most people are like, well, yeah.
They
I mean,
might
sometimes
know.
people are, sometimes people are just fucked up and doesn't matter what genre of or flavor of person you are. Sometimes you just end up being a fucking serial killer at camp, and it is what it is. But the reveal was awesome. Like, if you didn't know any better, because Felissa Rose, obviously she's a woman and a female, so you're like, okay. And then at the end you're like, holy shit, wait, what? So
not only that, okay, so that goes in with what I like about this movie. I mean, thank God I'm married now, because if I wasn't, the first dinner with my prospective husband's family, I would just have that 30 seconds playing like a boomerang in the background just to see how they would react with her about a fire with dick flapping. Because that is the weirdest. It reminded me of the fireys from the Labyrinth, how they stand by the fire. It's like legs spread and armed out. In fact, I may take that and like somehow make AI fuse that with a fiery with that song, because that would be just like the best fucking thing I've ever seen.
I've been having a thing of trying to mesh horror with child like
children
cartoons and stuff. So yeah, I'm like that would be a tight draw. If I do that, I'll let you know.
I mean, I think we could do a video edit of that. It would not be that hard. I mean, both are in front of a fire in the same stance.
I'm sure there's just one thing.
Honestly, you could just like loop. Honestly, you could just loop that. You could just loop that for 30 seconds and change a couple things and just play the fiery song. And it would totally look fine. And then just pop her head off, his head off, their head off.
One thing I thought was weird, because you often hear people talk about, oh, it's got like some weird mangled dick, and I'm like, it's just a dick. It's just
a regular
fucking
dick.
70s bush, like and dark.
It's like a
It's like a 17 to 80-year-old person's dick. Like I don't know, like some people's are just that size and there's hair there. I don't know.
Yeah. I always
it was an 80s dick.
Yeah.
It was a flaccid dick.
Yeah. I'm like, because like I said, I saw it years and years and years and years ago and never really watched. I'm like, hey, okay, it's fine, whatever. So like rewatching it, but you constantly hear that, and I'm like, did I remember it wrong? Am I seeing it wrong?
No.
Like this looks just like a 70s bush dick, in the 80s, whatever.
But also, I feel like if dicks aren't erect, people, I mean, they talk shit regardless, but definitely flaccid penises, there's all this judgment. And I'm like,
what's wrong with that thing?
They're like, it's so small. And I'm like, okay, so I've seen really small flaccid ones get really big and like vice versa. Like you can't
you
judge
and me
that.
both.
You can't.
I mean,
like you can't judge that. I'm serious. It has nothing like, dude, if you guys are on my
some
Instagram,
people are
you've
growers
seen
and
this,
some
like,
people are
blood worm
showers.
I just posted, same thing. It just like shoots out sometimes. You don't know.
You don't know. Yeah.
I hated that.
Oh my God, that video. I had nightmares about it last night.
We're
talking about bloodworms, by the way, guys.
Yep.
Just don't even fucking look it up. It's
look up on TikTok. Go to TikTok and type in bloodworms.
I can't even think of a worse thing. Like right now, I couldn't.
And we like horror movies.
This is true.
I would rather die by some sort of like
not
gas
bloodworm
that eats my skin away than see that thing and have it like jump in my mouth. Ugh.
I'd rather die by acid throwing leper bees than bloodworm.
Yes, exactly. It's
so,
awful.
Definitely. Anything else you liked about it in particular, Ubiet?
I mean, I appreciated the male midriffs.
Yeah.
Only, and it was funny. It was funny because we were watching it. And my husband was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like they're rocking those jean shorts and midriffs, and I'm like, it's so funny because this is actually the generation that when gay men started coming out and dressing more feminine, they were like fucking fags, and I'm like, you guys were the ones wearing midriffs and fucking Daisy Dukes.
Yeah.
It was your younger brothers that saw you wearing that were like, I
and
like
knee
men.
socks.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, you guys were the fucking like gay fish food that like made them blossom and realize what they really wanted or helped them
tidy whities
start moving to coming out. So like, don't talk shit, bro. And thank you for your service because now they're happy.
And real men wear shorts above their knees.
And also, and on top of it, I'm not against that. If my husband wants to fucking mow the lawn and cut his shorts a little shorter and cut that shirt up shorter, no problem with that. I don't see anything bad with that at all.
All right. So
he's like, okay, I'm going to change the subject now.
So let's talk about high-fiving and headbutts.
I was really hoping to see you with a giant pair of scissors, like cutting your jeans right now into Daisy Dukes. You're like, yes, let's do this. It is the summer of embracing it.
Going back,
men, if you're listening, do it. Ass cheeks out. I mean, there's
plenty of pictures of me in a jockstrap online. They're everywhere.
That's not the same.
I mean, you can see my butthole.
You were trying to be gratuitous. That doesn't work.
I've yet to see those photos, so that's
I don't. That's not
DM sent. No,
we want a little football jersey that's kind of see through that just barely covers the nips.
Oh
and Cut those pants or shorts up, show a little ass cheek. That's what we want.
If you if you need to go back and watch this movie, watch this part. It too.
Scarlett and I just announced. E, shut the fuck up. Scar and I just said we will pay for E.
I'll wear a
midriff. The next show. We would get a custom made football mesh midriff.
Okay, I'm done.
And Daisy Dukes.
I'm down. I'll fucking do it. But let me talk about the
Mark,
most.
Listen to that.
Time
You've heard it all.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit I'll do for free and for money. Anyway, going back to the most homoerotic part of the fucking movie, which is the fucking skinny dipping scene. So after they get out, after all the guys get back out and get on their tidy whities, there's one dude on the far right And it's like I noticed it right after the one guy who's
You
like,
really paid attention to this scene.
I was gonna say, dude.
well, because it's new, and this part I never
I don't
noticed.
remember that part.
You'll remember this. They're yelling for the girls or say something about snakes, right? And the one guy grabs his dick, like, "Oh, fucking snake in the water,"
Yeah.
like whatever.
Snake in the water.
So I was like, I never like paid attention to this dialogue. To this part, I'm like, oh, okay. But there's a guy on the far right, and I was like, is that like a weird crease in his tidy whities? But it looks like he kind of has a little bit of a boner, but instead of having it down, he has it like up towards his belly button.
I'm just so sorry because
because
remember
I never noticed the guy grab
a young lady and being like,
right,
is that a crease or
right? Because I never noticed,
and I feel like you just had that moment.
I never noticed him, the one guy grab his dick and say something about, yeah, I'll show you this snake or whatever he fucking says. And so my head's already down there and I'm like, that's a weird, I'm like, tidy whities are the worst.
Once your head gets down there, it's like, really,
yeah, you just see fucking nuts and balls everywhere, like dicks and balls. I'm like,
yeah,
but also I'm like
everywhere.
Right. I'm like double fist. I'm like, tidy whities are the worst fucking underwear ever. And they're just horrible. And then I noticed, and I'm like,
people wear them anymore?
I think so. Yeah.
I think people still wear them. I mean, they sell them in the store.
They totally do. But yeah, I noticed that. I'm like, those are weird. Like, are those some kind of early? I mean, I wore tidy whities in the 80s, but I was like, I don't remember mine looking like that. And I'm like, but it's not like moving in like a clothing way. It's like just staying there. I'm like, did he flop his dick up to, because sometimes models do, like men models will do this. They'll like put the berries over, put the beans over the franks to like make their sack bigger. Yeah.
And so it doesn't show
right
downwards and be so obvious.
But I was like, what the fuck is up with his underwear? And I'm like, oh, I think he flipped the flop because that thing's in there and it's like stationary, not moving like clothing would move. And I'm like, this fucking movie.
He was just like, this is my only part in the movie. This is my only part in the movie. And he got really excited.
Maybe.
Flip the flop.
Yeah. So
Let me flip the flop.
Flip the flop.
That's actually what I think that guys are thinking when they get random boners. Just let me flip the flop.
Yeah. I don't know. I was like, this
anybody
flop.
It's gonna be like my new favorite thing.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get in trouble for asking somebody, have you ever flipped the flop?
Sometimes you just gotta flip the flop, man.
Sometimes you just gotta flip the flop.
Yeah, because it's like,
I'm just gonna wait till a dude bumps into me and be like, oh my god, did you flip the flop?
Right?
Dude, don't do that. Scar's choking.
I almost spit my water out.
I just flipped my flop into her mouth and she's choking.
Right? There's tidy whities and like you can't really push it down or else it's going to be really noticeable. So maybe he was like getting a little fluffed and he was like, fuck, I got to do something. Why would it be
more noticeable if it's tidy whities? You just push it down, like tuck it in the butt
it's pointing, because there's a big hard thing pointing down.
There's a big thing like this.
Yeah, there's a big hard knob. Yeah. So he's like, maybe if I just
say really bad hymns.
Yeah. I don't know, but that was an interesting part. I was like,
Emmys. Yeah.
Maybe.
Like, just be like, oh, I'm 13 with hemorrhoids. 13-year-olds know what hemorrhoids are. There's gonna be like, oh god, I've had those too.
Maybe. Yeah, but yeah, so there's that. Anyway,
hemorrhoids, no gay.
Yeah. No homo.
I wasn't looking at you.
Say. Yeah. Like I said, maybe he was the one guy that was like, hey, this is my jam. And fuck, when you're a young dude, you just can't hold it in sometimes, literally. And you're just like, better try and hide it somehow.
I mean, more power to him.
Yeah.
I think that people should be more boner friendly.
Free the boners.
If girls got like noticeable boners.
Yeah.
I'd be super pissed if it was like a thing we had to hide.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would. I'd be like, really? I have to hide that? Because I feel like it should just be fine. It should be fine.
Just not around kids.
Well, honestly, I don't fucking care if I see a dude with a boner. I care if the dude with the boner tries to give me a hug or like brush against my leg. That's what I care about. And I'm sorry, dudes, but that's what you do.
Yeah.
You
Sure.
literally have boners and try to hug women or brush up against them, and that's
Oh,
not
I will
okay.
say I don't like the gray sweatpants thing.
yeah.
Oh,
It's like
ugh.
see it
Or
a
the
lot at my
sweaty
job.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see it
No,
a
The no one
No
wears
one-
sweaty boner. Mm.
nobody needs to see dick ridges. Like,
Oh.
they just don't. I mean, I'm sure some girls are like into it.
Oh,
Like,
no,
oh, yeah.
no. I'm fine
But-
with that. It's
but-
fine.
Nah, I don't need
No.
to see any of that.
I
But,
don't need to, but if I see it, I'm not upset about
but
it.
I want to.
There's some that make me upset. There's some that I'm like, come on.
Oh.
Why?
Oh no, I mean there's some weird dicks out there, of course.
That's what I mean.
Some
there's
are
also
very
weird people.
upsetting.
Sometimes they're
Yeah.
attached to each other.
Exactly. And the weird people with weird dicks, it's like incredibly upsetting. But I don't mind that you can see it. I just feel bad for them. And I'm like, oh, their life must suck.
Yeah. I mean, having a weird dick would suck, I would assume.
Well, no, if you're a
would
weird
assume-
person, I would
Yeah.
hope that you would have like a beautiful
No
penis
weird dicks
to make
here,
up for it.
man.
Well, no, like weird people might. I feel like they should have
Uh,
immaculate dicks. That way they can.
I just knew
know
this
what I mean?
episode was going to be fucking gold.
They're
of course.
weird with weird
A lot
dicks.
of-
It's just like, fuck, like, why are you even here? Go to the Galapagos Islands and save the sea turtles. Keep your weird dick out there.
Yeah.
Not in the turtles, guys. Don't think about that. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
fuck
keep
it.
it away from people.
You know,
Oh,
islands
God.
get lonely. What are you going to do?
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really hope
work through
somebody's
this.
been counting how many times we said dick in this episode.
A lot.
I just like
And
yeah.
weird dick.
Yeah.
Oh my
Weird
Or
God,
dick.
boner.
weird dick.
Boners.
Or boner.
Yeah.
Flip flop.
Flip flop.
The
Flip
old
the flop.
flip
You got to
flop.
flip the flop, man.
Mhm.
All right. So back to Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah.
Anything else good we got
Have
to
you
say
flipped
about
the flop today?
Not today. Not since I was like little.
Well,
There's been no
I thought
flip
this.
flopping.
Wait, flipping the flop is a boner, right?
No, what? No, it's when
No.
you tuck it up like at
You know,
your
when you
belt,
tuck it up
in your
towards
belt.
your belly
Oh, I
button.
missed that
Yeah,
whole
where it's
part.
like the
Yeah,
belly
yeah.
button, because then,
Yeah.
because then it's up instead of
No, I got that. I
down
know.
Yeah.
I know what that is.
Yeah.
No, I know what that is. I
Yeah,
thought
no,
we were
not-
just making a cute term for boner.
Yeah, no. No, that's when you flip it. Flip that flop.
Yeah.
Literally.
Got it.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Well, I'd like to retract a few of my statements, but go on.
I was just gonna say, for all its faults, I think Sleepaway Camp it's a charming movie in the weirdest way possible.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but it's fun and
Statutory
charming to
rape,
watch.
Potentially.
Yeah.
baldies, massive
baldies.
guns,
Lame kills.
penises.
Great dialogue.
Great dialogue.
leper bees.
Leper bees.
Leper bees.
Good. I mean, the
Surprise
effects are
endings.
pretty good.
Yeah.
When the kid, okay, another shitty kill scene, which I'm like, all right, Angela, how do you drown? Like you're under a canoe because it flipped
Oh.
over,
Yeah, but-
and it's just like I'm just gonna push your head underwater. Like you could totally get away. It's not like she
Yeah.
held him. Like you could totally get away from someone just dunking you, but he
but can you
obviously.
pee?
Yeah, I
Actually,
guess.
it depends on the way you leverage your body. Because I had lifeguard training for years, and
I
you
mean,
can easily drown someone by dunking them.
And Peter could be very strong.
I guess so. Yeah, a lot
That's
of
true.
rage.
Because men are strong
But yeah, when he
No, Angela.
in their arms, but not
Right.
legs.
another part that I picked up the few times I rewatched it that I didn't pick up before is when he gets drowned and he shows up on the beach and he's all fucking like chewed up. I'm like, how does drowning someone fuck someone up that quick? But
Oh yeah.
as I watched it again, he was talking about, oh, there's snakes and snapping turtles in here that'll eat you alive. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So I missed that part, but those effects are cool.
Actually, I don't think I didn't
Mhm.
put that together either. With
Yeah,
that.
'cause
That's
it's
the same
like-
thing.
Again, it's a movie that when I watch it, I don't necessarily pay attention to a lot of the things they say.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, okay, I get it now. But yeah, I don't know. It's fun. I think people should watch it. I
Yeah.
think I could see how a lot of people would love it if you're into like that kind of campy trauma-esque type movie. But I mean,
No, it's
def-
super fun.
Yeah.
but,
I mean, like I love trauma. That's
Right.
But I think you should watch like at least the trilogy,
right,
if not more of them.
right. I don't know. Let's rate it. I'll go first with a 2.5 gender bending candy corns with bushes and normal looking dicks.
So a female bush, a penis, and a flip flop.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
There you go. What about you, Scarlett? How many?
I give it a good 3.
Okay.
I give it a 3. Yeah. You know, I don't hate it, but
Right.
I do watch it. I would watch it again unless like I'm showing it to somebody.
Right.
Type of thing. Like, or if I'm doing something like this, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it's fun.
Yeah. Oobzilla?
I think I would say 2, but I'll give it 2.5 only because I think it's a great segue into 2 and 3, and I think watching all 3 is worthwhile. I think they all have important qualities in horror and are good for the time period. And I think without this one, the other ones wouldn't exist.
Right.
And the cousin, I fucking loved him. He was just so funny. He'd just like run out and be like, fuck you, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Don't fucking
cocksuckers.
Stop fucking with her. Yeah, like I love that fucking kid. And I was like, oh, I just want to pay him to like be my assistant and not do anything other than like come out of the woodwork when people piss me off. And I'll just be like,
start yelling at people.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah,
Totally.
it was super fun. Like, and it was great for the time. But yeah, it was a little toned down. Like,
Right.
a lot of other camp movies, like Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3,
There
have
you go.
like older people in the cabins. And for me, that campy 70s, 80s time stuff, maybe I'm stuck in my own head, but like, and like tits are great, but I don't need them in a horror movie. But I expect that kind of like baby
Totally.
shower scene, like stupid girl trying to have sex and getting impaled, like, and that, you know,
Agreed. All right.
but
Well, I
this
mean,
is good.
it averages out to like a 2.7
Yeah,
little candy corns, which is a
all
good
these-
solid. Yeah.
Some of these people in this will grow up and be showering, breasts revealed, and get like impaled. It's fun.
There you go. All right. Well, yeah. Fucking go check out Sleepaway Camp, everybody. And I'd like to thank Scarlett from Down the Hatch Food Reviews for coming on again and talking about dicks flipping and flopping and all kinds of
Got a
other.
new term. I'm going. I might throw it in a down the hatch review. Nobody's.
I think you should. I think you should.
Give him the old flip.
She did. I mean, I threw in some shit.
Yeah.
You threw in some shit. It's
Well,
fine.
this was a fun episode, and yeah, I would like to thank everyone who stuck around through all the dicks,
Everything.
all of it. But yeah, anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in to another episode, and we'll see you next time, you little flip floppers.
Give me
Bitches.
some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Want some candy?
Groovy.
You ever dance with the devil by the pale moonlight? We don't have to be mean.
Yeah, Jack Burton just looks that big old storm right square in the eye and he says, "Get away
from her, you bitch!
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Your move, creep.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.